You're hired as a leader to make something better. You signed up for this job because you want to have a larger impact. You want to change something or create something that makes your team and your business better in some way. If that's you, if you're driven to discover something better for yourself, your team, or your business, then you must fall in love with your problems and then teach your team to do the same. Today, I'm going to explain why. Years ago, I was in search of something better. I sensed something, like just something big was missing in my life, but I couldn't define exactly what that something was. All I knew was that I was just tired of struggling every single day. I was tired of being on an endless treadmill. I was trying to tired of just feeling like it was just, everything was just so difficult. Someone told me there was a better way, but I didn't believe it. God knows I wanted a better way to be true, but I was skeptical. See, earlier in my career, I would often spend my days like just looking for a quick fix, like a magic bullet. I believed that if I just had like another new client, or I could extinguish the current fire of the day, all my problems would be solved and tomorrow, magically, would be better. At the end of each long week, I would often wonder, like, what just happened, right? Intellectually I worked my butt off, but I wasn't sure like what I exactly accomplished. I couldn't figure out like how I succeeded on one hand and why other times I often struggled. And if hard work could define success, why did I not feel successful, right? What I do know is this. I was given some misleading advice along the way, and I had some unlearning to do. During my search for something better, I discovered some thought patterns that I was programmed to believe were true, which in fact turned out to be false and limiting. In my first book, There Must Be a Better Way, I document my life in the trenches, like just learning how to make some internal mental shifts day after day and having to like shed that misleading advice and then relearn what worked to replace it. If you're interested, follow the link in the description to get a copy of the book. See, many leaders, I say this because many leaders I know are frustrated with the fact that their team just drops one endless problem after another at their feet. And last week, I discussed how to get your team to focus on solutions, not problems. Check that out if you missed it. The link is also in the description. But today I want to build upon that discussion we started last week with some really specific advice. And that advice is this: fall in love with the problem. Right? We just fall in love with the problem. See, too many people wish they didn't have problems. Others bitch about their problems like it's like some life sentence. And then there's a third category or third group who just ignores their problems with the hope that they're just going to eventually go away, except the fact they never do. I had a conversation with a leader recently who was raving about this like amazing employee, and then at the same time complaining about their quote problem child, right? And I told him that the great employee that he was bragging about was easy to manage. The problem child, on the other hand, was his greatest gift. He was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah." I said, like, he's a blessing. I then asked him a profound question. I said, "What would you say if I told you ahead of time that a difficult employee was about to grace your path, but he was being sent your way to actually make you a better leader? In fact, this employee was going to help you become more articulate. He was going to help you define clear expectations. He was going to help sharpen your overall leadership." And the list is endless, right? I then asked, okay, if he knew that ahead of time, would that change his perspective about the employee? He eventually broke the silence and said, "Yeah, it would." I did the same thing with another woman I was working with and who was complaining about a challenging client. And yes, in fact, the situation that she was talking about was complex. I'm not going to dismiss that. However, I asked her the same question. I said, "What would you say if I told you ahead of time that the challenging client situation challenging client situation was about to grace your path. But this situation was being sent your way to make you a better leader, to improve your company's processes, and to help enhance the customer service experience that your customer offers its clients. I asked, if you knew that ahead of time, would that change your perspective about this client? She smiled and said, hell yeah, right? See, I'm saying this because the problem is the way. The problem holds the key to incredible learning opportunities. The problem makes you better. The problem gives you experience and wisdom. I personally would not be here or where I am today without the problems and challenges that graced my path. As a child, I'll say this to you guys, as a child, I lived through 3 divorces. My mom used to hit me, and I eventually ran away to go live with my dad. If I had to do it all over again, guess what? I would do the same exact thing. Why? Because that experience made me who I am today. That experience taught me how to be a better husband, how to be a better father, how to be a better friend. Every quote problem or challenge that I ever experienced, in fact, paved the way for something better. My high school girlfriend broke my heart, right? My freshman year in college, and guess what? 3 months later, I met the woman who I'd eventually marry and the person who I consider today my best friend. The largest deal I ever won in corporate America came on the heels of losing that same deal 48 hours earlier. In 2008, my first business started to shake big time by the financial crisis that rocked our country. That experience led to meeting my business coach and running the company I proudly have today. COVID hit our world unexpectedly, right? There were times, yes, that it was hard. It was hard to envision something better. But that's what leaders do. Many businesses, including mine, revamped their business model to scale it in ways that none of us could have ever dreamed of beforehand. In each situation, the problem was in fact the light. The problem was actually pointing each and every one of us to something better. It doesn't matter if you recently volunteered to lead, if you're a seeker attempting to become a new thinker, or a senior leader who is innovating and transforming your business to a whole nother level. Whatever challenges that lie at your feet, I'm going to ask you the same thing I ask all my clients. What would you say if I told you ahead of time that a challenging situation was about to grace your path? But this situation is being set your way to make you better. It's set your way to make your team better. And it's set your way to make your business better. Would that change your perspective about the problem? Would you welcome it as opposed to fighting it or bitching and complaining about it? Drop a hell yeah in the comments if you can resonate with that, if you agree with that. See, remember, you always have a choice. Don't worry about where you are. Don't worry about what you've done. Or don't even worry about what you failed to do. Today, like every single day, is a new beginning. You have an opportunity right here, right now, to make a conscious decision. I encourage you to fall in love with your problems, right? Welcome them instead of fighting them. Remind yourself that each one, in its own unique way, is making you better. It's making your team better. It's making your business better. Lastly, remember, you don't need to walk this journey alone. Help is available. It's a spiritual truth that help is always available. Seek guidance and help from others who can shorten your path, who can help you navigate your challenges and accelerate growth. If you like this video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, right? Share a key takeaway in the comments, and of course subscribe, because each week I'm sharing content that will help you and your team embrace change, focus your efforts, and accelerate results. Remember, you are just one idea away. We'll talk to you soon.